still call to go and visit what once was home. Though life can be sweet in all places we meet, our past cannot be separate. From English deeds to new God's shadow, we embrace the old magic in stories. Story to song, it is how we come home. When the diaspora seals the way, when we are far removed from our ancestors' home, our music can still brighten the truth of day nine. We are children of Lear, changed from those who would take what we were. We are children of Lear. We embrace what is now, but we will still remember. The lore of folk is ever changing, because the meaning comes from people, and people change. Although we pretend we don't, change is the only constant, except for the longing to be part of our past and future. So we sing and we dance and build statues, and try our best to remember that we are children of Lear, not children of fear of those who took what we were. We are children of Lear. We embrace what is now, but we will remember. We will remember. Gather round now. Move closer to the hearth fire before the embers lose their glow. For the night is stretching its long, ink-black fingers across the glen. You hear that whistle in the chimney? Some say it's just the wind, but you and I know better. Tonight, I'll tell you of a creature as old as the damp moss on the standing stones. The Puca. He is a creature of the gloaming, a master of the in-between. He walks the world in many skins. He's a velvet black stallion with eyes like twin burning coals. He's the shaggy goat with horns to scrape the moonlit nights. He's the hair that bewitches the mind when the fog haunts the dark. Whatever shape he takes, his coat is always the color of a midnight sea. and his eyes radiate a glint of mischief that can sour the milk in a cow's udder from 3 fields away. He cannot be trusted, but he is too beautiful to ignore. In the night, in the mist, you'll see him take his shape. He will charm, he'll invite. You should just walk away. If you speak, if you ride him, you'll vanish from this plane. He's the Puca, and he can't be trusted. Imagine you're a weary traveler, stumbling home from the pub. The scent of whiskey on your breath, the fog rolls in and you hear a clip, clop, clip out of the mist. He charges a massive horse, mane like tangled briars and coat a glossy black. He doesn't want your gold, he doesn't want your soul. The Puca wants a passenger, he'll toss you onto his back and then away. Through the brambles and tear your breeches, across the bog where the spirits dance. In the sky of murky moonlight, you'll be lucky to come back. In the night, in the mist, you'll see him take his shape. He will charm, he'll invite. You should just walk away. If you speak, if you ride him, you'll vanish from this plane. He's the Puca, and he can't be trusted. It's a wild, bone-rattling gallop that lasts until the first gray smudge of dawn. He'll drop you right where he found you, shaking, breathless, and covered in mud. But the story you'll have is once in a lifetime. Beware of what the Puca is. He's a creature of the harvest. His tricks are why we leave the last of the berries on the vine. After November's Eve, he claims his little prize. If you're greedy enough to pick a berry after Samhain has touched it, you're eating the Puca spit, and your belly will know the price of theft. He demands his portion of the earth's bounty, a silent tax for the protection of the wild places. In the night, in the mist, you'll see him take his shape. He will charm, he'll invite. You should just walk away. If you speak, if you ride him, you'll vanish from this plane. He's the Puca, and he can't be trusted. So, if you're walking home tonight and you feel a hot breath on the back of your neck, if you see a pair of yellow eyes peering from the hedgerow, don't run. Do not run. Just tip your cap, keep your head down, and pray that tonight he isn't looking for a rider. In the night, in the mist, you'll see him take his shape. He will charm, he'll invite. You should just walk away. If you speak, if you ride him, you'll vanish from this plane. He's the Puca, and he can't be trusted. In the hall of mist hung the silent oak, where the giants hissed and the shadows spoke. Cold the iron band on the silver string, waiting for the hand of the rightful king. Call the harp to fly through the smoky air, like a sudden cry or a lightning flare. Let the seasons turn at the master's knee, while the embers burn by the western sea. Broken frame of might leaped across the floor, through the heavy night to the open door, crushing nine in flight as it found its grip, bringing back the light to the singer's lip. Now the master's palm greets the ancient grave in the sudden calm before the first strain. Seven strings of gold hum a single note, stories yet untold in the singer's throat. First a strain of grief for the fallen brave, sorrow past belief, like a winter wave. Then a strain of sleep till the giants fell in a slumber deep. Underneath the spell, call the harp to fly through the smoky air, like a sudden cry or a lightning flare. Let the seasons turn at the master's knee, while the embers burn by the western sea. Most people, when they think of the restless dead, they look to the east, to the mountains of Transylvania. But they're looking in the wrong direction, long before the world knew the name Dracula. There was the Abhartach, pull up a chair we won. for this tale will keep you safe in Derry, should the stones ever be moved. In the days when the kings ruled in the glen, and the folk kept to the old ways of nature, magic and fairy, when our rulers were expected to be champions and leaders, a chieftain rose not by benevolence, not by care for folk, but by dark magic's greed and the corruption of nature. This chieftain was the Abhartach, small of stature and bloated with a dark sorcerous malice. He ruled through cruelty, bleeding his people of gold, grain, and eventually life. A jealous, hateful man, powerful in wizardry, feared by those he should protect. The old magic will give, but also take. The ones who delve too deep in darkness are forever bound to death. Never resting, needing life to sustain them, the walking dead will seek the crimson drink, a grudge the earth can never hold. The Abhartach will rise. His jealousy bloomed inside him as he grew more bold to catch a wife's betrayal. He fell in the attempt to control, ending his natural life of cruelty and arrogance. The people did not mourn but breathed deeply in relief, burying their chief, standing to honor his rank. If not the man, the horror showed itself the very next day, a demand of blood sacrifice from the people he bled in life. In death it was their life he needed to sustain his own horrible existence. Once cruel he was now terrible, once a man he was now a monster. The king championed his people, killing him again, then thrice. But the Abhartach rose again, and the people paid his price. The old magic will give, but also take. The ones who delve too deep in darkness are forever bound to death. Never resting, needing life to sustain them, the walking dead will seek the crimson drink, a grudge the earth can never hold. The Abhartach will rise. Seeking wisdom, the king sought advice from a holy man, a hermit in the old woods. To kill this creature cannot be done, lest ye use a sword made of you. Still he will rise monstrous and hungry, but trapped he can be if you follow these rules 3. Bury him head first, no respect must be given. Cover the grave with ashwood and briar, the thorns he will loathe to touch. Seal it with a great stone lacht, so he cannot rise from his earthly prison. Do this, and the Abhartach will remain in darkness where he belongs. The king returned with a sword made from yew, and in a great clash of righteous might and dark magic ran the Abhartach through the heart. His eyes of burning coals snuffed out by nature and truth. He fell for the last time, no blood left to sustain him. Buried deep in the earth, head first was the abyss. Ashwood covered his grave, and a stone placed to seal his fate. Briar and thorn to remind him that his monstrous ways are unknown. stands and waits for those foolish enough to remove his cage. The old magic will give, but also take. The ones who delve too deep in darkness are forever bound to death, never resting, needing life to sustain them. The walking dead will seek the crimson drink, a grudge the earth can never hold. The Abhartach will rise. So hear my words, we one. The tree that marks the gravestone must never be approached. The stone that traps the creature of darkness must never be moved, or the Abhartach will rise again, and the blood of the folk will run crimson in his veins. The old magic will give, but also take. The ones who delve too deep in darkness are forever bound to death, never resting, needing life to sustain them. The walking dead will seek the crimson drink, a grudge the earth can never hold. The Abhartach will rise. Beneath the moon, a shadow crawls across the frozen lake. Within the gray and ancient walls, the sleeping spirits wake. She combs her hair with ivory bone, a ghost of silk and air. A hollow, high and heavy moan is layered with despair. As she sings, white hair glaring, the wail is rising through the mist. As she waits, cold air freezing, her name is added to the list. As she weeps, darkness snaring, a soul no longer can exist. The silver water starts to shake before the morning light. A heart is destined now to break into the bitter night. No mortal hand can stay the blade or hush the wailing tongue. The debt of blood is duly paid when funeral songs are sung. As she sings, white hair glaring, the wail is rising through the mist. As she waits, cold air freezing, her name is added to the list. As she weeps, darkness snaring, her soul no longer can exist. should not be taken lightly. It can teach you the consequences of how you treat people. Do someone harm and the repercussions can last centuries. Now listen close and learn of the Dearg Due.
In the old world, when Waterford was young, there bloomed a beauty whose blossom was ever bright. The praises of her kindness are sung to this day. She was pure of heart, with hair like spun moonlight. She gave her love to one both gentle and kind, a farmhand whose honest spirit was true. But greed was lurking in her vile father's mind, and their love was lost before the morning dew. Her father had a heart made of greed and stone. His ambitions began to form and swell within his soul, a bitter hope where care should have grown. He sold her into marriage to a man made in hell. The soul has power time cannot endure. The greatest of evil comes from a soul that was pure. A life built on pleasure from cruelty and hate gives only enough space for evil to create. In the void of kindness, where hell is all that's true, beauty and purity becomes the Dearg Due. Sold her to a monster disguised as a man. A bride price was her father's only aim. The wedding that followed in his wicked plan was a funeral for this beauty in all but in name. Her husband was a violent, cruel thing, a teacher of a life of constant pain. For every day some torture he would bring, her spirit bound within a heavy chain. She held to hope that love would soon appear, but heroes cannot always win the day. Her torture lasted through the coming year, until her lights faltered and faded away. The soul has power time cannot endure. The greatest of evil comes from a soul that was pure. A life built on pleasure from cruelty and hate gives only enough space for evil to create. In the void of kindness, where hell is all that's true, beauty and purity becomes the Dearg Due. They buried her in Strongbow beneath a lonely tree. Her rest short-lived, lasted only a single year. From Strongbow's earth she fought to be set free, as her malice from her life stolen rose to replace every fear. From the grave she sought her father in his bed of greed, and drained the very life from his chest. His soul was never meant to be released. He left him in the cold so deserving of her hate, and drank the blood that kept his heart alive. She left him there to meet a truly ghastly fate, while in the dark her spirit would survive. The soul has power time cannot endure. The greatest of evil comes from a soul that was pure. A life built on pleasure from cruelty and hate gives only enough space for evil to create. In the void of kindness, where hell is all that's true, beauty and purity becomes the Dearg Due. To this day she wanders through the cold night, a reminder of the heavy cost of pain. If you see her, be wise, turn and take flight before she takes the blood from your veins. I'm sure no Irish giant was bigger than the wondrous McCool. His reputation caught the ear of a rival from afar, and a challenge then was made by the mighty Banshee. When our good Finn heard about the challenge to his rule, with boulders he then built a bridge to deal with this fool. When Finn first spied his giant foe, he knew he was outmatched, so he ran home, and this is where a trickery was hatched. If you can't beat a bully with your might and fists, then take a cue from Finn McCool and beat them with your wits. Your foe, they might be stronger, but this is also true. A witty trick can win the day, just like our Finn McCool. Chased across the causeway Finn had built to teach this Irish upstart a lesson from the kilt. When the Scottish brute arrived for a mighty duel, he saw an enormous baby held by the wife of Finn McCool. The baby was the size of a male giant grown. How large it still must Finn be if this was just his son? The Scottish brute then tucked his tail and ran back to his cave, tearing up the causeway that mighty Finn had made. And Finn, he laughed as his frantic rival ran away, because dressing as a baby is how good Finn won the day. So all you lads and lassies, when you find you cannot run, remember Finn McCool and use your brain and not your brawn. There's always a bigger fish out there, but this is also true. If you use your wits, you'll be just fine, like Finn McCool. If you can't beat a bully with your might and fists, then take a cue from Finn McCool and beat them with your wits. Your foe, they might be stronger, but this is also true. A witty trick can win the day, just like our Finn McCool. Hey!
You've heard of tales with monsters, ancient and terrible stories that teach you how to act or what to look for. But what if the monster is the wild? What if it is the mountain and mist? What do you do if Amferli Amor finds you in the heights of Banshee? Imagine yourself with modern sensibilities atop the heights of the Cairngorms. You believe your senses tell you true, a person of science, trusting what can be measured, climbing the slopes of Banshee. The wind whispers and shouts, cold and unforgiving. Your footsteps crunching in the frost as you feel the mountain turn trickster. The sky darkens as the fog rolls in, surrounded by sudden and absolute mist. Your visible world shrinks. You can barely see 3 feet in front of you when you hear a footstep, not your own. You are watched, you are measured, the ancient mountain disapproves. You are small, you are fragile, the gray man stares and waits. You should run, you should scream, and Feli Amor does not hurry. If you stay, if you challenge, you'll not return from Banshee. You feel the weight of the mountain heavy in the misty breeze. You feel his gaze locked upon you, hear the crunch of massive feet. If you turn, you will not see him, for he is all around you. In the fog you will know him, and you will feel his true intentions. Not a monster nor a ghost, but the mountain and the wind is the roar of the storm, the crash and rumble of falling stone. Taller than any giant fin McCool could command, older than the she-stone given shape. You cannot hide from the wind or the rocks beneath your feet. You are watched, you are measured, the ancient mountain disapproves. You are small, you are fragile, the gray man stares and waits. You should run, you should scream, and Feli Amor does not hurry. If you stay, if you challenge, you'll not return from Banshee. You flee from ancient terror, the fear of the aged wild. You should not look behind you, only look ahead, my child. Your future depends upon your choice to honor the gray man's mountain. You can feel him coming, and you cannot outrun him. As you scramble over stone, you will hear him keeping pace. As you slip and fall in terror, you will never see his face. Once you enter the forest and step clear of Banshee, Feli Amor will stop his pursuit and will not bother you. You are watched, you are measured, the ancient mountain disapproves. You are small, you are fragile, the gray man stares and waits. You should run, you should scream, and Feli Amor does not hurry. If you stay, if you challenge, you'll not return from Banshee.
So remember this, my friends. When you walk the high places, whether in Kerry or in Cairngorm, tread lightly, respect the silence. For if the mist comes down, and you hear a step behind you that is heavier than your own, do not look back. Do not challenge the guardian. Run and give thanks if the grey man lets you leave his domain. You are watched, you are measured, the ancient mountain disapproves. You are small, you are fragile, and the grey man stares and waits. You should run, you should scream, and Feliamore does not hurry. If you stay, if you challenge, you'll not return from Ben.